Today we're playing a dedicated Black Belcher deck in Modern. Beseech the Mirror, Irencrag-Feat, and Goblin Charbelcher. No plan B, we're going all in. Let's check out the deck list. About 1 month ago, I recorded a video featuring Oops All Spells with a Goblin Charbelcher backup plan. You can find that video in the card above, and the backup plan was so good that it was really the primary plan, and a lot of you in the comment section said, I'd like to see this deck without the Oops plan. That's what I'm delivering to you today. And when we look at the deck, it is Goblin Charbelcher with the multimodal functioning lands, MDFCs, whatever you call them. And then we have Beseech the Mirror for added consistency. The plan is to cast Irencrag-Feat to assemble 7 mana for Goblin Charbelcher. We have Pented Prism to aid Beseech the Mirror with the bargain costs. Same thing with Talisman of Indulgence. You also have Strike It Rich to create treasure tokens. So you have 12 ways to create that artifact for you. But the main deck is pretty much count to 7 and belch. In the sideboard, we have Leyline of Sanctity for discard. Speaking of discard, we have our own to protect our combo against blue decks. We have a Braid to blow up Pithing Needles. Same thing here with this Engineered Explosives, except this doubles as a card that sacrifices to Beseech the Mirror. After that, we have Magus of the Moon as a powerful Beseech the Mirror target versus decks like Amulet Titan. Hello. And then we have an Empty the Warrens backup plan. That's it. That's the deck tech. If you have any thoughts, comments, questions, suggestions, whatever, put those down below. But I want to hop on into match number 1. I'm sure you do too. I'll see you there. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicsforum.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicsforum.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Match number 1, we're on the play. Let's belch. Speaking of belching, we've opened up Goblin Charbelcher. We have Agadeem's Awakening as our land and then a pair of Strike It Rich. So we don't have a red land. I think you're supposed to ship this, unfortunately. Okay, so we have red land, we have Ritual. Is this a... No, we're 1 mana short of a turn 2. Okay, so if I draw a Pyretic Ritual in the first 2 turns, I win the game? Or so I believe. We will keep this and then put one of the 2 copies of Irencrag-Feat on the bottom of our deck. Looks like our opponent's kept 7. We will lead on playing our black land and then pass the turn. Inspiring Vantage. Swift Spear. Alright, so we have a guaranteed turn 3 win. So if I fail to draw a Ritual, I misspoke. I said we have 2 draw steps, it's just the 1. But if I don't draw it, we can play the Spikefield Hazard and then win on turn 3. Turn 2? No turn 2. Alright, we'll play the Hazard. So you might have been saying, why not play a red land on turn 1 and then you could turn 2 Strike It Rich? So we are a deck playing Pented Prism, and I was playing towards that rather than Strike It Rich because Strike It Rich isn't even that good on turn 2. Or if I had drawn Pented Prism, that is definitely a card I want to play on the second turn. So we're going to eat a Lightning Bolt to the face here, and then have an easy peasy win on our turn. Ouch. Talisman of Indulgence. We will play the Shatter Skull. I will Lightning Bolt myself, because as always, that's what I'm into. Pyretic Ritual. We will play the Irencrag-Feat, Goblin Charbelcher, and then pew pew! There we go. Sweet. Alright, so we're facing Burn. We don't need these ley lines. I'm sorry, we don't need these Pact of Negations, but I am interested in Leyline, just to slow them down a tad. I don't think that they're a deck that would play Needle, so I'm not really inclined to board in Explosives or a Braid. I think I'm just going to submit this. Game number 2. We've opened up a lot of mana. 1 land. Yeah, I'm not supposed to keep this. We'll send it back. Alright, so we have Belcher, and then we have a bunch of lands. So I do think we keep this. We'll put one of the Maulings on the bottom. Our best draw is an Irencrag-Feat. We take one from Swift Spear, Shatter Skull. I'm going to play a tapped Mauling this turn. I think I want to keep open Spikefield Hazard. I don't know why, but I feel like it's kind of free. They suspend a Rift Bolt, and then Lava Spike me. Okay. We take 2 down to 14. We'll draw for turn. Talisman. I'm just going to play a Spikefield Cave. I could Lightning Bolt myself and play a Talisman this turn, but that doesn't actually help me get any further. We'll take 3 down to 11. The Swift Spear now has 2 power. They have 3 cards in hand. Ouch. We're at 9. I think that our opponent might have a Smash to Smithereens in their hand. I could be wrong. Beseech the Mirror. Interesting. If I had played the Talisman... Man, this deck's tough to play. So I could go Pyretic Ritual, Cycle Manamorphose. I guess it's free to just Cycle Manamorphose and see if I draw Irencrag-Feat. Okay. Red-black. We did not draw the Irencrag-Feat. I think I'm supposed to just play the Belcher. I realize that I've lost this game. We're just going to have to try to win game number 3. And then we'll deal ourselves 3 damage here, going to 6 against Burn. When our opponent has 3 cards in hand, we'll play Belcher, and then we're forced to pass the turn. And here we're going to get hit by Smash to Smithereens. Nope, just a Bolt. Okay. Lightning Helix will do it. So we have lost game number 2. I don't really see a point in changing anything regarding like our board plan. I'm just going to resubmit. We are on the play for game 3. Yeah, this seems fine. We'll keep this. I think I'm just going to play a turn 1 tap land. I could go turn 1 Striker Rich, but I don't think that actually does a whole lot. So instead, I'm going to play the turn 1 tap land. Turn 2, I can play the Shatter Skull into Talisman into Striker Rich. And then we're set up for a turn 3. Oh no, I don't have any lands in my deck. This Goblin Guide is never going to give me a card. How unfortunate. We reveal Manamorphose. Alright, so I am going to lose 3 life here. Play the Talisman of Indulgence. We'll lose another life. Striker Rich. Pass the turn. They suspend a Rift Bolt and Swift Spear. I believe that is the match. We reveal a Spikefield Hazard. Let's party. Took an extra damage there, even though I didn't need to, just because I can. I have so much life against Burn that I'm willing to lose a life because I can. And now we'll target them with Goblin Charbelcher. Boom! Who's the Burn deck now? 1-0. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Match number 2, we're on the draw. So we have 2 black lands and a Pentaprism, which could filter into a red. We have a ton of mana and 2 Manamorphose. So we get to look at like roughly 5-ish cards in the first couple turns of the game. I think that's good enough. I understand there's a possibility we don't find that payoff when we lose, but I think that this hand is ultimately okay enough. All right, Hall of the Storm Giants. We find an Irencrag. We'll play our land tapped past the turn. So if we find a Belcher, I might be able to surprise them and win. Okay, an island. Strike it rich. Let's play the Pented Prism. Our only red source. Alright, we have a hand that doesn't do a lot, and our opponent has 2 blue. They cycle a Lorien Revealed, grabbing a basic island. Interesting. Not a shock land, because they already have a Steam Vent, so we know that they have an island in their hand. Okay. Another Irencrag. We will just pass. They're going to draw 2 cards, that's fine. And they have still not played the land that we know about. We have found Pact Negation. That's a really good draw for us. Unfortunately, we're still pretty far away from being able to win. They grab another Steam Vents, and we'll discard the Irencrag-Feat. They play a Mutavault, and they're still just on the never tap out game plan. Woo, a red land. How about that? We'll lose 3 and let's play Strike It Rich. Pass the turn. They've finally played the island that we knew about, and they're going to activate Mutavault. So if I could draw Goblin Charbelcher plus another Pact of Negation off our Manamorphose cycles, we probably win. But we need to, do those things because our opponent could only have double counterspell here. Well, there's the Belcher. Okay. I wonder if we could get them to counter something they shouldn't. Let's cast a Desperate Ritual. Okay, and we'll cycle a Manamorphose. Black-red. No dice there. We'll cycle another Manamorphose. Black-black. So I have one counterspell back up. I think we're supposed to just jam. Play the Belcher. They play counter target spell. We will try a Pact of Negation. They have another counterspell. So I can pay for the Pact. The issue is that we're just so far away from winning. We'll play a land tapped and pass the turn. They animate the Mutavault. Okay. Little bit odd. You're not a creativity deck because you didn't get a third red source. So what is going on here? Okay, so they're just destroying my second blue source. Sure. We can now go to game number 2. I definitely want empty in this matchup. I think it's good against decks with heavy counter spells. And then we can board out all but one Irencrag-Feat, leaving it just for Beseech the Mirror. This card is not good versus blue decks. And now we're at 62. I think I'm going to shave Striker Rich. It's just a little bit lackluster. Okay. This seems fine. We've opened up the one Irencrag, which is a little bit odd. But this hand's decent. We do need to draw a second land. I don't think I realized that. Yeah, that's very awkward. I thought that we had a second land in our hand. They search out a land. Ragavan. Okay. We draw, and it's a second land. I love that. Okay, so we're going to play our land. Ouch. Play the Talisman. And we'll Thoughtseize them. Had it the whole time. Double counterspell. That's not very nice. We'll take one of them. And then pass. They play their land. Ouch. I'm going to go to 12. They flip their own Agadeem's Awakening. So because they have a counterspell in hand, this Pact of Negation's a little bit odd. I can really only cast this Pact of Negation to stop counterspell if I don't plan on using Irencrag-Feat, or if they try to counterspell Desperate Ritual. Or if they're very silly and tap out, but I don't see that happening. Oh, what are you doing? You're doing something on your end step. They're going to destroy my Talisman. It does shut me off my red source. But now if I draw an untapped red source, we win. We only have 4 of them, but it's an option. Womp womp. Alright, we will pass. They play their land. Ragavan connects, we go to 10. Manamorphose, I did not want that one anyway. Another Pact of Negation, okay. They have 4 cards in hand and we know 2 of them. We go to 8 from the Ragavan hit. They reveal a Mauling. We need a red source. I guess that's fine. I go to 5. Okay. Belcher. Am I actually dead to the land? If they have an untapped land in their hand, I'm dead. They fetch. Archmage's Charm will pack that as well. So they have Ragavan and one unknown. And them playing the Archmage's Charm, I believe, shuts them off of Hall of Storm Giants attacking me for lethal. Mutavault. They swing for 2. I'll go to 3. Ragavan flips. And it's a Strike It Rich. They play the Strike It Rich. And now there's a couple Pact of Negation triggers. With them on the stack, we will belch our opponent for lethal. Sweet. They're at -29, and we are headed to game number 3 versus this Blue Moon deck. Alright. I think we just submit again. You got to see a little bit that game why Irencrag-Feat is so awkward with Pact of Negation. I don't think we're allowed to keep this. It's a one-lander without a payoff. They've taken a mulligan. We'll do the same. This is better. Keep. We'll get rid of the Manamorphose. They play turn 1 Hull of Storm Giants. Spikefield Hazard is a land. We will pass the turn after that. They cast a Consider. Milling over a Lightning Bolt. Interesting that they kept that in. I would have won them game number 2 in their defense if they had one. Strike it rich. Because we drew the Strike it rich, I'm going to play Talisman this turn instead of Pented Prism. So this gives us 4 mana. Pyretic Ritual would be 6 mana next turn, so we're 1 mana short of Belcher for lethal if our opponent tapped out. Adawara. Empty the Warrens. Okay. I think I'm down for an empty for 6 here. Let's try a Pyretic Ritual. And then we'll play a Pentad Prism. We'll tap the land and then use 1 counter off the Pented Prism. And we'll play empty for 6. They cast a Consider. What I'm kind of hoping for here is 1, Empty the Warrens goes the distance. It's a 4-turn clock, which it might not. I'm willing to accept that. But what it also might do is create an opening where our opponent's forced to tap out, and then we can slam a Goblin Charbelcher. 6 goblins have entered the battlefield. It's worth noting that they considered away a counter spell. They play Sulphur Falls. In their main phase, they cycle Lorien Revealed for an island after they've already played a land. Into Murktide Regent as an 8/8. This does give us a window to play the Goblin Charbelcher. If we can draw a Beseech, it's lethal. Does that do it? 5 mana? No, that's lethal. Desperate Ritual. Our opponent would need a Spell Pierce. Goblin Charbelcher. And like I wanted to, the empty created a window where our opponent tapped out. Just like we drew it up. Bam. Just like that, we are now 2-0 with Black Belcher and Modern. Stick around, hopefully we get the next 3. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. We are back at it for the 3rd match. We are on the play. 2 lands and a lot of mana. I think we're supposed to send that back. This is 1 mana away from greatness? Okay. We just have to draw a single land. It would have to be an untapped land for a turn 2, but I'd take any land. So we're keeping this and then putting an extra Irencrag-Feat on the bottom of the deck. As I mentioned, we have 7 draws that allow us a turn 2. So we'll play the Shatter Skull tapped, pass the turn. Urza's Saga, okay. Alright, so we're facing Amulet Titan, so we want to draw this land quickly. Draw for turn. That'll do, pig. That'll do. We need Amulet Titan to not turn to us now. Our opponent plays a Valakut the Molten Pinnacle. Okay. Well, opponent, I have some bad news for you. You are about to be belched. Desperate Ritual. Desperate Ritual. Irencrag-Feat. Goblin Charbelcher. Pew! Our opponent said, oh, in chat. Yeah. Oh, indeed. You've been belched. Yeah. Nice turn 3 you had there. I won the die roll. It's unfortunate for you. So we have Magus of the Moon. I don't know how good Thoughtseize is in this matchup, but I do think that Pact of Negation is not very good. So we could take those out. And then maybe shave like a Beseech? Or like a Manamorphose maybe? Let's do a Manamorphose. So the thing is, I want to keep my artifact count high for Beseech the Mirror. And I don't want to board out Irencrag-Feat or anything else that makes us go fast. Like, Manamorphose is a consistency card since it gives us, or aids us with triple black. But I think the 4th one might be a flex spot. So we're going to try this. If you're watching this, you're probably thinking like, oh, why aren't you boarding in an answer for Python Needle? Your opponent's in Urza's Saga deck. I just looked over these the Amulet Titan lists. I didn't see a single Needle in any of them. So I'm not going to board for a card that they're likely not playing. This hand is good, but it needs a second land. I think we can do better than this. It's a bunch of lands and mana, but no payoff. Do we go to 5? Like, this hand, if you get lucky, you might be okay, but I'm just worried that against a deck like Amulet Titan, you don't have a lot of draw steps. I think you're supposed to mulligan. And we're back at 1 land Belcher, which is what we mulliganed in our 7, I believe. Alright, so I guess I'll keep this, but I shouldn't. I'm not loving my odds here. Turn 1 Amulet of Vigor again. We draw Talisman. We'll play Shatterskull, pass the turn. They have their basic. Well, I'm glad I didn't open up a Magus hand. Land? No land. Okay. I'm probably dead here. They can go grab another Amulet of Vigor. They grab a map. That's interesting. Okay. They use the map to go grab a Simic Growth Chamber, and then they play a basic forest. A lot of basics. And we missed our land again. Sure. Can't be lucky all the time. They played the Growth Chamber. I'm just going to F6 through our turn. They bounce a basic forest. They have 4 mana available. The One Ring. Sure. I mean, we're not doing anything anyway. Well, if we draw a second land, we have a win. It would have to be an untapped land, but discard the Talisman. They draw 2 cards using the One Ring. Dryad of the Elysian Grove. Okay. Golgari Rot Farm. They replay the Rot Farm. So this will bring them up to 4 mana. And they play another copy of the One Ring. Land, please? No land. Alright. Discard an Irencrag-Feat. They play a Simic Growth Chamber. And then with that on the stack, they tap their One Ring to draw 2. Maybe I saw those out of order. I might be wrong on that. They have made 6 mana. We're probably dead to a Primeval Titan here. Azusa. Well, if they have Titan, we're definitely dead. I guess we were already dead to Titan, right? Because you grab the land that gives it +2/+0 and haste, and Boros Garrison. Yeah, we were already dead. Our opponent has played another land. I mean, they're really taking their time here. They're down 8 minutes on clock. They play a Summoner's Pact. I mean, we were already dead. Cultivator Colossus. Sure, why not? They're putting a whole lot of lands into play. They get to Beseech my land. Our opponent has resolved all their triggers to untap their lands. Now they're bouncing lands. Now they play a Primeval Titan. I mean, this turn has been 10+ minutes. So maybe I'm a little crazy here. I chose to not concede because the rate in which our opponent's playing is incredibly slow. And, you know, maybe it will force them to play faster or make a mistake in game number 3 when they don't have infinite time to think through everything. They play a second Primeval Titan, so they were just showboating this whole time? I guess so. Okay, and we have officially lost game number 2. Going to game number 3. They have 7.5 minutes on their clock. I'm just going to resubmit. Game number 3, we're on the play. Let's see if we can open up a good hand. Magus of the Moon on turn 3. I think I'm willing to keep that. It could be a turn 2 if we spike an untapped land. Shatterskull Smashing. We'll go to 17. Play Strike It Rich. We'll pass the turn after that. Mycosynth Gardens. Amulet of Vigor. Okay. Do we hit the untapped land? We do! I will go to 14. Magus of the Moon. Pass the turn. We have to hope that this Magus is good enough. Our opponent drew multiple basics in game number 2. We don't want that to be the case here. Another Amulet. Okay. I guess we'll play the Mauling. Let's go the distance. We're going for speed. Land number 3. On their end step, we will cast a Valakut Awakening, putting all 3 cards in the bottom. And we'll draw 4. Flashback the Strike It Rich. I can't talk. I've been recording these pretty late recently, trying to catch up on all the housework of having a brand new home, and staying up super late to record these videos the last few nights, and I'm tired. I had a 2-week buffer of videos to release, and I'm down to actual nothing right now. So all the videos you're seeing are going to be recorded and then released fairly quickly. Attack with the Magus. Let's cycle a Manamorphose. We'll do black. Beseech. I think I'm going to wait on the Beseech. we have lethal? It's 5/6 mana. I'd have lethal if I drew something good off of Manamorphose. We'll do red-black. We've already played our land. I guess I'll cycle another. Red-black. That doesn't do it. I mean, I could go get Belcher, but if they have a Force of Vigor, I'd feel really dumb. So instead, I'm probably just going to play this Pentad Prism and pass the turn. Yeah, we're just 1 mana short. Sure, you can have a 3rd Amulet of Vigor when all of your lands are mountains. You draw a Strike It Rich. We'll play the land. Sacrifice for black, and then we'll make black mana. We will cast Beseech the Mirror, sacrificing Pentad Prism. Grab a Goblin Charbelcher. We'll cast it. Target you. Sweet. I believe we are 3-0 with Black Belcher. That's pretty sweet. There's still 2 matches left. I'm feeling pretty good about this deck. It feels really strong to me. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. But for now, we're going to head on over to match number 4. I'm sure I'll see you there. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. On the play again. How lucky. Match number 4. Come on. When I click yes, just do it. Alright, so this seems fine enough to me. While we don't have a Goblin Charbelcher or a Beseech, we do have this Valakut Awakening that we're able to cast, so I think that's fine. Let's lead on the Mauling. I want to keep the option to use this Spikefield Hazard open. They play at Cliffs. Grief, Exiling, Thoughtseize. So we're getting double griefed here. So I'm probably going to lose both of my red lands. That's awkward. There's the first red land, and here's the second. Ay. Well, I'm glad I didn't mulligan aggressively for a combo piece. We need to draw lands now. Punished for not playing a red land on the first turn. We take 4. There's another land, okay. Next turn we can play Talisman into Strike It Rich. Orcish Bowmasters, sure. They have 6 power, so I get 2 more on tap steps, I think. We go to 9. If they have a Bolt or like a Ragavan, another Bowmasters. I don't think I get another draw step. I definitely don't. What a draw. Beseech is not fast enough here. Yeah, I'm just dead. Okay. Well, that was a game of Magic the Gathering. Wasn't that lovely? Alright, let's bring in our ley lines. Get rid of these Pact of Negations. Is there anything else we want to do here? I don't think so. I mean, I could do Empty the Warrens for additional payoffs, but they're the Fury deck. Like, is that even good? I'm just going to hit submit. Let's try it again in game number 2. We have 3 lands, no ley line. Let's try it. We'll play a red land on the first turn, I guess, in case I get double griefed again. Ay. Turn 1 Black Cleave Cliffs. And there's the turn 1 grief. We're going to lose both of our lands again. Ay. Why is this still legal? Yep. Okay. Sure. We drew the land we needed. That's good. Now we need to draw Goblin Charbelcher. They have the Fury evoked now. Sure. Yeah. Highly disruptive and a fast clock. So we're going to take 4 here. Next turn they're attacking for 12. Not a lot of time left. Beseech the Mirror. I think I'm supposed to cycle the Manamorphose because I'm not going to be able to get to Beseech. Black-red. So I guess if I draw another Manamorphose, I don't think it works. Pretty sure I have to draw exactly Goblin Charbelcher. So 3 discard spells, and they're going to kill me on turn 4. The right pick here is actually the Irencrag. Let's see if they see that. They take the Beseech. Come on, deck. We have 4 hits, 50 cards left. Incredibly high odds. Incredibly high. Not at all sarcasm. That's not going to do it. Alright, well that was fun. We are now 3-1. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? We've made it simple to do so by including a button to rent the entire deck at theepicstorm.com/decklist. Another die roll victory. It's match number 5, the final match of this league. Hopefully we can get it. Alright, double Pact Negation, 3 lands. Our opponent's playing a 70 card deck. I don't know what that means. It's a very odd number. I'm going to mulligan. The only thing I could think of is like modern oops, because some people for some reason like to play like 70 cards in that. We'll keep this and we'll bottom a ritual. We'll play our land, pass the turn. Definitely not modern oops. They're just a 70 card control deck, I guess. Sure. We'll play our land and pass. Hallowed Fountain. And they cycle a Lorien Revealed. They play a basic forest after they reveal the steam vents to the Lorien Revealed. They're going to ice our land. That's fine. Don't care. Vented Prism. Play our land and pass. Land number 3 for our opponent. Ardent Please. So they're on the Bean deck. Okay. Force and Negation. I've seen this. They're playing Commandeer as well. Sure. So this is just a replacement card. We'll play the Mauling. Play Talisman of Indulgence. Ouch. Pentad Prism. They have 5 cards in hand. Omnath. Sure. We need them to not have a Force and Negation or a Commandeer. Play Beseech the Mirror, sacrificing the Talisman. Ooh, it resolved. Goblin Charbelcher. Play the Belcher. They're going to Solitude to cantrip. Okay. And it resolves. Target you. Love it. Sweet. That's game number 1. Can't believe that deck's playing 70 cards. We'll bring in Thoughtseize and then the Magus of the Moons. Although, they do have Solitude. I'm not sure how good the Magus actually is, but maybe it'll be enough to slow them down. We'll board out some copies of Irencrag-Feat. I don't really feel like that's what we want to be doing here. And then a couple copies of Strike It Rich. Game 2, our opponent's taking a mulligan. We're going to keep this hand. We don't have any protection yet, but we do have this Veilcut Awakening that we can cycle later. I think that this hand is just fine. Turn 1 Triome. We draw another land. Strike It Rich. And we will pass. Another tap land. Pact of Negation was a very good draw for us. Okay. I'm going to play the Spike Field, and then we can pass the turn. They have a 3rd land, and they're going to pass, so I think our game plan is we're just going to Veilcut Awakening on their end step. Or they're going to ice us. That's fine. Magus. I don't even know if their deck plays basics. Magus of the Moon. Come on, tell me you boarded out your Furies and Solitudes. Nope. I guess we got to eat a Teferi. That's not the worst. Okay. Knowing that they kept in Solitude, I'm probably going to board out the Magus if there is a game 3. Teferi Time Raveler. So that means our Pact of Negation is now dead. They have 3 cards in their hand. I mean, this is lethal. If they don't have a Force here, we have the game. A Force or a Commandeer. Play the Irencrag-Feat. Belcher. And they conceded. We got the 4-1. How about that? This deck list felt really good. Obviously, we got destroyed by Rakdos Scam in those 2 games where both games they let on turn 1 Grief into backup protection plus very fast clock. I don't know if there's anything this archetype could have done other than me just drawing my Leyline of Sanctities because I didn't. So, sweet deck. I really enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. And as always, keep storming. What you should do is like, comment, and subscribe because there's no better way to support us. And if you enjoyed this video, head over to moxfield.com and follow us there. It's truly the best deck website on the internet. We update all of our decks there regularly with the latest and greatest technology, so you're always up to date. Once again, go check out Moxfield, and thank you for watching.